Welcome to another episode of $1 Million Worth of Game Business Spotlight, where we give you the news you can use, and we give you that game. We bring you information that can change your life. I'm talking about in a second, man, a bunch of free information. A lot of these people that we bring up here on $1 Million Worth of Game Business Spotlight, you don't have to really be a part of nothing. You don't have to pay no money. You get a bunch of information. You go to the class, you get the free ebooks, go to the live classes, the free funding courses. You get all this type of stuff and walk away. You don't have to do nothing.
And
you don't have to pay a
lot of people is not understanding is information is the key.
Information is the key to winning and elevating in life and taking it to the next levels of life today. What you need to do is you're getting a free funding course and a live class from D Fox Money and K Fox Money. What you need to do first is you need to go to dfoxmoney.com. Go to dfoxmoney.com. You're getting a free funding course and you're getting a live class. Now listen, man, D Fox, how did you get into the funding game, man? How did y'all get, the Fox family get up into the funding game?
Man, so we were struggling for some time. And basically, we built a business from scratch to $200,000 a year after we invested in coaching using funding.
Because like you said, information changes everything.
Yeah.
But we ruined our credit when we jumped out to do the entrepreneurship thing.
Y'all burnt it down? What was the first move you made to burn it down?
Man, so basically I quit my job cold turkey. Felt like God was like, hey, it's time to go. And I did. And I didn't have enough money saved like I thought I did because my expenses just felt like they just kept going.
We moved from Louisiana to Atlanta, maxed out all the credit cards on our living expenses, food, and just trying to stay afloat while building a new business.
So we just ran out of money, So we just started using the credit cards and stuff went to collections, couldn't keep up with what we were doing.
So how long did it take you to clean that shit up?
Well, it took actually about 6 months to a year. Once I got that business together, we got it to cash flow and we got our financial freedom. We started realizing.
Did you go back to work?
No.
Once we jumped ship, we never hopped back on.
Yeah. Right. But we realized we were missing out on something so crucial, which is funding, because we were living our life straight on whatever cash the business brought in.
And any money our business made, we took that to reinvest back into our business like every good business owner should. But the shortcut is using other people's money, business funding, to do that for you instead of working harder.
And what business did y'all have?
So we started off with a digital marketing agency and we built it from $0 to $30,000 a month out of our son's bedroom in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Now, when you say digital marketing, break that down. What was y'all really like? What was y'all doing for people?
So we were generating leads for mortgage loan originators across the United States.
On Facebook, good old Facebook advertising.
Damn. And that's all y'all did. Y'all only deal with mortgage companies.
Nope, that was our niche. And that was our problem at the beginning. We were like, we can do marketing for everybody. And then we got nobody. So once we figured out what our niche was, we stuck to that and built it to 30K. And our kids have never seen us work a day since. So we realized there's power in business ownership, but most importantly, leverage to grow your business.
But you said something very important. And I think today with social media, everybody is slashers or they jumpers. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. They don't take a little niche market that might look like it's small, but there's 8 billion people on the planet. So how many people on the planet need this service or need this product or need this? And I think what you said is really important, that niche. You said, no, we stuck right to this.
She really said niche, but I don't know.
Niche, tomato.
Well, whatever. I don't know what it means. You know what I mean? I did the same thing, niche. So she stuck, you said stick to that because what goes on is that you said, we couldn't market for this rapper. We couldn't do digital marketing for this clothing line. We couldn't do digital marketing for this food product. But for these, we could do, and that's really important that you said that. Because just imagine if y'all was running around trying to do stuff for everybody.
We tried. We had chiropractors, we had dentists. We were trying to hit them all, and we failed at every single one of them.
Hit?
No, because we weren't specializing in anything. So even though we tried it all to collect more money, it failed us in the long run. So that's why we're very big on mentoring other people and giving out as much free game as we can to shorten the learning curve of others so they can learn from our experiences.
Because if I could go back, I would have started with other people's money first instead of trying to do everything off of my own cash. And that's how crucial funding is for every business. It literally is the lifeblood for every business. You think of Walmart, they don't get those products on the shelf without having access to other people's money, credit. They fund those products, and then we come in there and purchase it, and then they pay that line of credit off and then take the profit on the end.
Or look at high-level entrepreneurs, business owners like on Shark Tank. Those investors aren't saying, let me give you $500,000 of my money to invest in your business. No, they're getting somebody else's money that they have access to invest into that business and then paying it off as the money comes in.
And so that's what we teach people to do, is how to get access to that money, even if they're trying to start a business. Maybe you're employed currently and you want to move and do a business opportunity that's really available and right in front of you, but you just don't have access to that capital to start. And what's crazy is all you need is to make sure that you have the right data and the right information. And that's what we do in the free course that you guys get access to just by tuning in to $1 Million Worth of Game today.
So what I want y'all to do one more time, listen, I need y'all to go to DFoxMoney. That's DFoxMoney.com. I need you to go to DFoxMoney.com. And what you need to do is you're going to get a free funding course. You need to sit down and go through that in a live class. But I need to know your story and your journey about how you went from, you said y'all tore your credit up, went from 6 months to a year to get it together. All right, what did y'all do to build it back up? That's 6 months to a year. And what did you do after that?
So basically, I started realizing quickly, I said, baby, we have each other and we have to get both of our credit right because we can't move forward as a family without making sure we both are together. Because usually in a relationship, one person has great credit, the other person has bad credit. And so we didn't want to be that couple. So the first thing we did was we removed something called negatives. So negatives are things like late payments, charge-offs, collections, right? We had a lot of those. And then once we got those removed, that pretty much got our credit profile cleaned. And so a lot of you may have those things, or maybe you don't even know what's on there. So I recommend that people go to Experian.com to get their credit report because they pull something called a FICO 8 model. Usually Credit Karma uses something called Vantage 3.0, and lenders don't use Vantage 3.0. They use FICO 8 to decide if they're going to extend money to you. But once you do that, the next thing is proving your documents.
FICO 8.
So FICO 8 is a scoring model that lenders use because it holds the best data and it also reflects what your true score is based on what they're looking for. Okay. So whenever I look at my clients, that's the first step is getting their personal credit right before we can move to business funding. But the other thing is proving documentation. You see, nowadays banks are getting shut down. And the issue with that is that so many people are now experiencing a tighter underwriting criteria. And all that means is they want proof that you make what you say you make.
And that's underwriting.
Yes, that's underwriting. Yeah. So the way I do that with my students is we help them prove their documentation legally because so many times people make fake pay stubs and they can end up potentially in prison for maybe 3 to 4 years or $1 million fine simply by having fake pay stubs. So what we tell them to do is we have them start a very safe LLC or a safe C Corp. And what they do with that is we set them up with a company called ADP. So ADP does over 50% of the country's payroll in all small businesses. So what they can do with that company that they have, even if they have their current job, they can deposit money inside of that bank account and have ADP write them a paycheck as a W-2 employee. And now what this does is it proves their documentation because they have legal pay stubs combined with the pay stubs they get from their job. And they also decrease their debt to income ratio. And all that means is they make way more money than their monthly expenses are. So they look a lot more stable on paper and they have proof of documentation because everybody in funding says, hey, go for the no doc loans. But if they ask for docs, are you going to just leave that money on the table? No, you're going to make sure you have the documents. And so instead of doing it in an illegal way, you can do it in a legal way. And not only that, it builds your business credit when you use a company like ADP. It's like a cosigner on the money that you say that you make on top of what's in your application.
All right, so what did you do as soon as y'all got that credit together?
So once we got the credit together, we started to look for ways to invest it. And so
the first business that we did was a car business. We bought 7 vehicles and we had those vehicles Uber and Lyft for us. And we split the shares 60-40. So these cars were rolling while we were sleeping and making us money.
All right, but this one, how did y'all go? Y'all just took the credit cards and just went and bought the cars?
Yeah, so we use a process called manufacturer spending. So manufacturer spending is where you take the credit cards and you run it through a merchant processor. And so merchant processing is literally what you do whenever you're at the store and you swipe your credit card on a what they call a POS system. And the money ends up in the business bank account that accepted that payment. So you can also do that in your own company. And it's not anything that's illegal. And when you do that, that's how you get the money off of the credit card. And then you can take that cash and you can do what you need to do for that business because it's and that's if you're using your personal credit to fund that. And so that's all we did. That's how we did to get the cars. But we did a lot of that creatively.
And another big investment that we did with the credit was investing into ourselves. So we got some coaches to help us in different areas that we want to grow in. I'm a homemaker, but I like to be a moneymaker too. I like making babies and making money. So I started to learn how to offer that to other women who want to do the same thing. So we really just invested into businesses and into ourselves to grow our knowledge, to continue to grow our money.
And see, this 7 car thing got me. I ain't even gonna hold you. 7 cars. I'm like, damn, y'all grabbed 7 cars and was making this. Do y'all still do that, or that just was a moment?
So literally, God told us to sell all the cars. So we sold them right when the used car market appreciated because they had a shortage of new cars at the time. So we made about $4,000 to $5,000 on the exit of every single car that we had bought during that process.
And then months later, gas prices skyrocketed. So talk about, we were thankful that we listened to God. And then with that money, we moved from Louisiana to Florida. So we told you earlier, went from Louisiana to Atlanta. Then we moved back home whenever we had a kid. And then we were like, you know what, let's move with our children to Orlando. So we moved to Orlando, but using that money.
All right. So now tell them what's going on now, how people can come to you outside of this. First of all, you're going to get the free course, and you're getting the free funding course, and you're getting a live class. All you got to go to dfoxmoney.com. You can follow them, each of them on dfoxmoney, DFox Money on Instagram, and KFox Money on Instagram. Tell them how they can get at y'all, and tell them what y'all could do for them, and tell them all the resources y'all giving them in this funding course and in this live class.
So many times, guys, whenever you go for funding, one of the biggest things that can happen is you end up with something called hard inquiries. So if you ever go to the car dealership and they just run up your credit, right? Well, that actually affects your ability to get access to money from the bank. So we have a free 24-hour hard inquiry removal script that we include in that course, guys. You literally are able to call the credit reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and get your hard inquiries removed within 24 hours or less so you can move on to the next bank, and they will be in a position to where they see like, okay, this person hasn't applied to so many different places, so they don't look desperate on paper.
Mm-hmm. So he's got all the game for business funding, and I'm here to help him with all of that. If you check out KFox Money, it's all about being a mom and a business owner. Because trust me, I love being a homemaker, but I couldn't let go of my passion for being a moneymaker. So that's where I'm at on Instagram.
So, but this is what I need to know also. So, what in this course? What else is y'all gonna be teaching in this course, in this live class? It's like, because it's free, it's totally free, and I could just come and say, I'm Johnny Nobody. Let me come and just sit here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And what Jews I'm gonna get out of there?
So while you're there, you're also going to learn how to set up the foundation to get access to $200,000 to $300,000 in funding. So everything starts with a foundation, guys. Nothing in this world, if anybody tells you, hey, you're going to have it overnight, is generally a lie. So we help you set the foundation and set the stage so you can be at a $200,000 to $300,000 with access to funding. So then you can make the moves you need to make and improve your life and finally accomplish whatever dreams your family has. Because a lot of times you may not realize, but the grandmother who owns the house and has never left anywhere and lived in that house her whole life, that could be the person that literally determines and sets the foundation for moving your family's life forward just because she has a good credit report. So literally her credit report can put the whole family on and get you guys access to funding so you can literally change your situation, because at the end of the day, it's all about having access to capital.
And in that class, we're breaking down simple things that little Johnny may not know about. For me, when I first started trying to get funding and I wasn't consulting with my husband, I'm putting on paper like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. Banks don't want to see that, okay? So it was just my naive mind getting denied funding over and over because I was putting, I'm a business owner, instead of
what they want to see.
That you're stable, you have money coming in.
They also want to see that you're employed. A lot of times we may go start businesses as entrepreneurs and we put self-employed because we're like, hey, we're finally self-employed. But in reality, it makes you look a lot riskier on paper for banks, because the statistic is 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So if that's the normal statistic, why would you go into the bank and put that you're self-employed? That's the worst thing you can do. So you can literally make yourself an employee of your own company. And that's why ADP comes into place, because they create all those documents for you. They take out your taxes for you. And even if you get taxed on the income that you provide to yourself, you literally have write-offs now because you're doing it through a company that you own.
So that's the game that we'll be giving away, like ADP, little things like that, but also going into a bank and talking to your average teller and saying, hey, I have a business, I need a loan. Your average teller, whoever you're talking to at the counter, is probably not going to listen to you. Right. You need to talk to the guy in the back, have a business relationship manager, but most people don't know that. So those are plugs. Exactly, but most people don't know them or know they need to speak to them.
Right. So I'm sorry, babe.
You're fine.
Yeah, we take our students through relationship managers on the back end. So relationship manager is the person who literally works in the corporate office of the bank right next to the underwriters. Right. So you can only work with them if your business does $1 million or more a year and deposits over $100,000 a month in your bank account. And because you're part of our community, we literally can help you look proper on paper. And then we give that to a relationship manager. And it's almost like getting walked into the club when you're hanging out with Gilly and Wallow and literally have nobody touch you, right? It's the same exact thing.
The bouncer going to throw you out, you walking with Gilly. They're going to beat you up and throw you the fuck out.
The utmost respect, you walking with me.
With that loser. Now, what y'all need to do right now, everybody that's watching this $1 million worth of game right now, Business Spotlight, what you need to do is to get the free funding course and a live class, go to dfoxmoney.com. Also go on Instagram as you see this right down on the bottom of the screen and follow DFox Money, follow KFox Money. They're going to give you a bunch of game about this funding game, about being a homemaker and a money maker at the same time. You women out there that's doing your thing, that's doing it. But listen, this is another episode of $1 million worth of game Business Spotlight, and we just like that gave you some game.